All right, welcome back to another Bitcoin video. So I'm going to start this video off a little bit nostalgic here, going back to the beginning of Bitcoin. So if we're going to count wave 2 down here, wave 3 up there in terms of 2017, well, there's a couple of things I want to talk about here. Wave 3, if that's wave 3, third of a third wave, I want you to pay attention to how long wave 5 is. Okay. How long is wave 5? Would you say it's this long? So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was long. Okay. Now, if you look at wave 5 of wave 3, look how long that was compared to wave 1, right? Or wherever it is wave 1 ended, I think it's about there. Wave 5s tend to extend somewhat, right? Things start off small, but then the mania grows exponentially. I think this is important to keep in mind because I'm going to explain to you a bit of a change in the wave count, which opens the door a little bit for something else, something that I can track, something that I could use as a gauge to see if I'm wrong. So this has been the understanding up until now that we've had an A, B, C, D, and that things can turn down for E. But what if wave D ended already down here, right? I went looking through these waves and I decided that it makes a lot of sense that this is what happened, right? But this is not anywhere near over yet. It's getting very complex, but I want to try and understand it from the AriasWave perspective. So I'm going to switch over to the BTC chart now, and I want to show you what is potentially a good count. So rather than this being wave 1, this was a wave 3. Okay. So basically that means that wave 4 ended. Wave 4 ended when the wave E went down after that ETF launch, right? So which means wave D ended around here, and we had a very small wave E, right? This makes a lot of sense. It does, because the move that was, the move that happened after that, it seemed to take off, break all-time highs, etc., slowed down a little, right? Now, after all that, would wave 5 only be this small? Think about that for a moment. Would wave 5 only be that small after all this? After my example, when wave 5s go crazy? After all this correction since 2017? All right. So this is where I'm going to start to sort of talk about the possibilities of the market going higher, but not from here, not straight away. Why? Look at this count. This count indicates weakness in the market. It sort of explains why price has been hard to track. It leaves question marks on the current price action, because if this is a weak 5-wave move that's still developing, well, you can't have a weak 5-wave move that's moving up like this unless you get price action that comes back to touch wave 1, 2 area. See, this is where I think we have something here. we have something to work with, right? And this is why I took the time to be a spectator, to look at it from not a trader perspective, but to sort of get ready to trade, but understand what it is that I'm trading. So, what this means also is that after we saw wave three zigzag, is that we had an A, B, C, and the D is unfolding, right? The A wave, the B wave still happening, and the C wave's coming. Now, this is going to be very tricky for a lot of people because let's just say that you do understand week five wave moves, right? You could quite easily say that this is wave five zigzag, quite easily, except the corrective components tell me that this is still corrective wave four. And how can it be a week five wave move if price action of wave four and five have not touched waves one and two? That doesn't really classify as a week five wave move in AriasWave world. I don't give a shit about AriasWave world. That's rubbish anyway, right? But in terms of AriasWave world, it makes no sense to have a week five wave move when price does not come down to touch that area, at least down to 50,000. It doesn't make sense. Even if it's going to go higher, it doesn't make sense because then it wouldn't be a week five wave move and you'd have to look for the flaw in your analysis, which is what I've done in reverse. For me to consider this a week five wave move, I had to admit I'm wrong. I was wrong before, and I'm probably wrong again with the other count that I had saying that this is the end of D wave. When there's a good chance that this might extend higher, but first we need to see wave five of this week five wave move, even if it is wave one with a wave two coming back down, which would not surprise me given that the stock market hasn't topped out yet and it just needs one more move down to complete a B wave of a D wave, right? And once we get that really impulsive move that I believe is coming to top this market out, Bitcoin would have already went a lot higher. But it's not quite there yet. It's getting very close. But correctively speaking, I think that we need to see price come back down to at least 50,000. And once it touches that area, I believe we will see a wave five zigzag. Yep. And then I don't know. We do not know what that's going to look like because that can get pretty crazy, right? Will we create a wave five zigzag and completely correct back down to make it look like another head and shoulders pattern, only to extend higher? You see, this is where it gets very, very interesting. I think I have something new as a guide. Now, this could also explain something about VRA, right? It could also explain. So I'll post something separate on that, but I really do think that there is a possibility that we may just hang around this area just a little bit longer before we actually go higher. And if we do that, it's going to be a crazy move. It's going to be crazy, but it doesn't mean that it's going to go forever. It's going to top out at some point after five waves up. So I think it's just wise for us to prepare for that type of scenario. And critical support will remain at this low, 38,000, roughly. If price goes below that, this is done. I don't give a shit if you're talking about wave D or wave five. You go below this area, I'm not going to be bullish anymore. But if we don't and we follow this, what I'm saying, and we do create this D wave up, which I will post about shortly because I'm just trying to figure out just a bit of complexity around this D wave that's happening right now. Right, I do believe we're going to have a D wave complete within B wave. So we're not talking about the larger D wave. We're talking about D wave within a correction. So I don't think it could quite go that high. So we could see a lot of confusion up here, right? D, E, bang, and then bang. I think there's a little bit of that going to happen. A little bit of a fake out going on with wave D incoming, right? So this is what I'm preparing to trade, but I'm not going to pull the trigger yet because this is corrective. So keep an eye out for these updates. I'm all over this now. I'm back on board as a trader, not a spectator. So I've done my analysis. I think I have an idea of what this is going to do over the next, few weeks, etc. But like I said to you, if we go below 38,000, I'm not bullish anymore. I will take that idea completely off the table. And it's going to be pretty apparent once it crashes below that. If it does it, it's going to happen really fast. But if it doesn't do that, then I'm prepared to look for a correction. But that's going to be after wave 5, which is not even going to be in this move down. This move is going to be purely wave 4, right? So purely wave 4 will come back. I'm talking about if we see wave 4 come back, zigzag up, right? I'm talking about after that point, if we see down below 38,000, that's when I'm not going to be bullish anymore. But if we see this happen and some kind of correction that doesn't go below that level, this is going to set us up for another move higher, right? And I'm going to be very careful about how I observe that because corrections can be deep and fast, but correction for wave 2 can also expand. So it's going to be a tough one. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I think we just need to see 5 waves up to begin with, right? So wave 5, yeah, on the table, but at this point in time, we haven't even seen wave 4 yet and wave 5 of either the complete wave 5 or wave 1 of wave 5. Judging by the bigger picture, there's a good chance that the week 5 wave move just kind of went up to break the all-time highs, correct, and then, you know, sort of like giant teacup handle pattern, and then bang, up, how many X, I don't know. But the point is that this will affect other cryptos, and I'm going to be mindful of this if it plays out in this way. I do see signs of it in other coins, but not all of them. So I'm going to have to sort of think about the other ones over time. But really, my focus right now is Bitcoin because it's the one who's going to drive the markets, all the entire crypto market, the total market cap. So hopefully this has helped you, and I'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching.